All right, morning, everybody. They're setting up, I think, either for whether or not we'll get a trade today. Who knows? But is everybody able to hear me? Okay. Just throw up a Y real quick if you can hear me. Come in, you could just do me a huge favor real quick, just like the stream. We're gonna get started here in a second as people kind of flow in. We'll get going. Muhammad Burke, morning. I'm gonna butcher all of your names, but all of you who say good morning this morning, I love you. Music is inspiration. I've been learning how to play the guitar lately. Muhammad, it is 8:30 in the morning. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Hey, all right. Let's get this thing going. Morning, everybody. Just a quick reminder, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Throughout this stream, anything said on my channel, X, Y, and Z, typed, spoken, all of that stuff. This is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Please feel free to read through this. That way you know I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. All for education and entertainment purposes only. Cool. Hey, good morning, everybody. JT, good to see you. Paulie, Muhammad, everybody that said good morning. I'm going to butcher all those names, so forgive me for that. I'm just going to say good morning. Let's get into this. I did the prep work this morning. I told you all yesterday that I was going to start doing that every single day and putting those things up on the screen, so that way, really not only just for you, but, also for me, it does help, just keeping it typical man brain, right? If I don't put it up there, it tends to get a little bit cloudy. So what I've done is I put all the levels up there that we need to be paying attention to. What day of the cycle it is, if there was a signal day, how many days of breakouts do we have, even some of the less, I'm not going to say less important, but the pushes, right? So peak formation low from the low of last week. We've had 1, 2, 3 levels of rise. So I've included a lot of those details. We'll go to the pound first, and we'll start there. It seems like there's some decently clean templates that are forming. I've got the previous week's high up there from last week, and then the beginning of this week began the pump. We broke out of, was that Friday, and the previous week's high on Monday, creating the opening range. That was the first push outside, and that was the first day of breakouts. Then we had the second push, the third push, just using basic price, right? You could see the little waves, and then really, that doesn't mean anything unless we get a peak formation made at the high of the week. We did. We got a peak formation high. This was day 1 of the 3-day cycle. We're in the third week of breakouts. We had a first red day, day of pump, a day that puts in a peak formation above previous day's high, and then closes down below open. So you would put your last swing high, last swing low up there, and then in the, was this Asian session, they made a lower low. London session pumped it back up and then broke down, and then this is kind of just where we're at. Also noting that we're in level 3, or we're up high. The beginning of this week, we started at the bottom of a 100 pip box, or excuse me, down, well, it is still below 50, but Started down low from the peak formation from Friday, and that led us up into level 3. So we've broken down out of level 3, first red day, and then now we have today. Does that mean that today has to continue to go down? By no means, absolutely not. Maybe the trade was in London, or maybe in the gap time. That's what this is done. But we've made a lower low, back down. Yesterday was a first red day, and that's good enough for me. Okay, so whether or not this will provide a trading opportunity today, I do not know. If it was a trading opportunity, from where current price is at, it's going to be a low-hanging fruit for me, back down to the low of the day, low of the week. Coming back down towards this recent peak formation. Okay, we can look at the euro, and kind of the same-ish instance where we had a peak formation put on Thursday, Friday of last week. This was also a day that was inside of the previous day's range. First day of breakouts on Monday, giving us the opening range for the week. And then they traveled back up again towards or into the top of a 100 pip box, putting in a peak formation at the high of the current week. And then right at the very end of the day, closing below the opening price for that day, giving us a day 1 of the 3-day cycle and also a first red day. That's when you put your recent swing high, recent swing low. Asia's broken down. We put in a low in the beginning of London, or in the gap time. They went back up 1, 2, 3 to the high, and then it looks like there was a London short trade breakout pullback down towards the low. Again, I don't know whether or not this will continue to go lower. That's not the point of these setups. The trade was in London. That was good. Now, I don't know if we're going to get continuation in New York. I don't know if this is really set up for continuation in New York, but of course we will see. Dollar CAD. All right, so coming off of peak formations made at the high of Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday, day 1, day 2. Day 3 of the cycle was on Monday. And that was our first day of breakouts to the downside, where they've closed outside of the range. They continued to break out yesterday on Tuesday, extending or expanding the range of Monday, and then failing back up on the inside, also giving us a first green day peak formation at the low of the current week. They traded down first and closed above the opening price for the day. Peak formation low, first green day. And again, there was a long trade in the Asian window where they made a higher high and pulled back. Basically, an engulf. This is a 15-minute chart, but there's the engulfment at 10:30 for basically just a 25 pip rip up towards the upside, back towards the high of the week, opening range high. And that's kind of where we're at. We're at the high of the day. Kind of need more of a dump and a pump. Wouldn't really feel comfortable taking this long from the high of the day. That's not usually what I do. Not necessarily looking for a short trade either, but it is day 2 of the 3-day cycle. Day 1, peak formation day. Day 2 of the cycle, trap volume. Day 2, trend day maybe. We will see. Let's see here. All right, so let's go to the NASDAQ. And I know I'm moving kind of quickly, but I'll leave these annotations up here. In fact, you know what? I'll go back to the beginning. I'll leave this up here for a second. I'll let you all take a look, and I'll just kind of go through each one again. Now, please understand that just because I have annotations on the chart does not mean that I'm looking for a trade necessarily on that pair. I'm just stating facts. I'm stating things that have happened so I can prepare for if the rest of the week sets up appropriately, or if today sets up appropriately, I will be prepared for that trade. You have to understand that the context of what has happened. First red day trade, that is a high of day, high of session sell. 3 weeks of breakouts, we're up high. We've had a 1, 2, 3 to the high, peak formation put in place. All of those things are telling me to look for a pump and a dump. So if I don't get that, then I'm not going to take a trade. I think the pound looks a lot more clean than the euro. CAD, same thing. Dump and pump template, potentially setting up. First green day, day 2 of the cycle. I'm looking for a low of day, low of session opportunity. If that does not present, then maybe I don't get a trade on this pair today. Very well. Let's see here. NASDAQ. Boy, the NASDAQ. Let's zoom out a little bit. So we have this large range. This is also the previous week's high and low. We have not triggered either at this point, and that's okay. At the end of last week, we got a peak formation low, and that resulted in a 1, a 2, and a 3. Now, that 1, 2, 3 means absolutely nothing unless we get a peak formation made at the high of this current week. So this was the first day of breakouts to the upside. They broke out. They closed higher. Yesterday was the second day of breakouts. They broke out, pulled back, and they closed higher outside of the previous day's range. Now, today, coming in, they have broken back down. And again, we're on the inside of the previous week's high and low. We're also on the inside of the current week's range, except now we have broken out of the opening range towards the downside. Yesterday was also an outside day, or we consider that the heartbeat pattern, or the day zero, peak formation low, peak formation high. Now we've broken down. And as we speak right now, current price, we have broken out of previous day's low and also outside of the opening range low over here. So this is day one, 3-day cycle, which I did not annotate up there. Or it could be day one, 3-day cycle, depending on how today closes. This could be a day two. We've got breakout or inside bar trader stops down at the low of that inside day from day 2 last week. We've got volume pretty well consolidated up here in this 100 pip box. And if we're breaking down outside of this 100 pip box with 300 pips of rise, we peak formation low, 300 pips of rise, maybe we're breaking back down. I don't know. Again, I'm going to look for a certain pattern or some kind of sell high opportunity, breakout, pullback, continuation. I don't really know. All I know is this is how the template is currently setting up. Whether or not I get a trade on that today or tomorrow or Friday, we will see. All right, US 30. We're into the 4th day of breakouts now. And again, we've got this. All I know is we've got a creeping trend down. This is a creeper. We've been creeping. I'll look at the chat here in a second. I think I see some questions and things being asked. I'll get there in a second. All right, breakout trader stops from last week. Peak formation was made, oh boy, Monday of last week, and we've been strongly breaking out to the downside. So I just marked off 300 pips down from the breakout level. We were in this 100 pip box. We broke down 300 pips. We're, of course, 400 pips down right now. 4th day of breakouts. Am I looking for a reversal? I don't know. We're in the 4th day of breakouts. We've got a creeping trend down. We've already broken out of the previous day's low. If we start working the low of the day and we get a large peak formation put in place, maybe. But other than that, do I really want to counter trend a strong breakout to the downside? I'm not going to catch the falling knife. We'll see where this lands. I'm not going to try and pick bottoms. We will see. Okay. Oil. I think I did see a question in there about oil. All right, so we'll start again. Last Friday, identifying peak formations. We had a backside or a dump. There's the higher high. It's the break-in structure. Trades back down into the low consolidation. Day 1, 3-day cycle and a first green day. Beautiful. A day we're at the low of the week. They've traded down into the low of the day first. Peak formation, closing above opening price. And then now maybe we have the front side pump, which obviously we do. This is Monday, day 1 of breakouts to the upside, day 2, 3-day cycle. That gives us day 3 of the 3-day cycle yesterday, and at the close of the day, we had the 2nd day of breakouts. And now today, we are into the 3rd day of breakouts to the upside. We've triggered previous week's high, and we're at the high of the week. So those are the details. Those are the things that matter to me. And also, starting at this 100 pip box at the beginning of this week, we do have 300 pips of rise. So that could be good. Now, whether or not I'll get a short trade on this, I do not know. We could be on a strong front side pump towards the upside. And again, don't want to counter trend something that is ripping towards the upside. We will take a look and watch. All right. It's all going to depend on 9:30. And of course, the news schedule for the rest of this week, we do have GDP year over year, or I could probably just look at the calendar instead of saying ridiculous things. Let's take a look. Quarter over quarter. So yeah, what is this? Tomorrow? Yep, we got that news tomorrow. It's a fairly large news event tomorrow. We'll see how the template sets up. All right, oil. So again, reiterating details. First green day, day 1, 3-day cycle. First day of breakouts, day 2 of the cycle. Day 2 of breakouts, day 3 of the cycle. Day 3 of breakouts today, currently. We did not get, well, this would technically turn into a day 1, but we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to wait for a false break. Third day of breakouts, previous week's high has been triggered. We've got 300 pips of rise. That does not mean it has to go back down by any means. We are just looking for a setup if it were to present. We have no lower low on the inside at all. Right now, it just looks like they're creeping their way back down. Gold. Okay. This is another one that is on the inside of the previous week's high and low. They have not triggered either one of those boundaries. So we're in a trading range. But peak formation was made at the low of Friday. And we've got 1 level of rise, 2, and 3, just looking at price or looking at the waves, if you want to call it the waves. However you want to refer to it, right? The stair step. We got stairs up. I don't know if we're going to get an escalator down. It already kind of moved quite a bit. It's already moved 200 pips today. We'll see. Of course, this is gold. They can move as far as they please in a day. But, again, we'll just look for the setup. First green day on Friday. Day 1 of breakouts on Monday. Day 2 of the cycle. Day 3 was yesterday. And we've got that second day of breakouts to the upside. And they've rolled over. We got Friday's high up there projected across. We've broken down back on the inside of that. We pinned down through the low of previous day and pumped it back up 25 pips as of right now, lower lows. So we'll see. We will see. We still got basically 100 pips to get back down to the low of the week and further to get back down to the low of the previous week. And it is Wednesday. So maybe this is a pump and dump template for the week. Or maybe this is a pump. This is a failed breakout of this trend line and it just rips to the upside and we're all sitting here staring at it like, what the heck? I have no idea, right? So we'll just continue to watch it. It's about the timings and what they're doing at certain times of the day that I'm more interested in. These are the details. These are the facts. This is what I've got. And this is what we're going to go into the session with, ready to go. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, there's one right there. First green day or the first... Man, they put this... YouTube puts this little heart thing right here. And it always blocks off my view of what you all say. The first green or red day starts day 1. So here's the thing. There's lots of different day 1, 2s, and 3s, right? And I know it's kind of confusing, and that's why I've really done my best to not only color code. I had this suggestion a while back about color coding, what type of days. And so what I've done for you all is I've gone and I put templates in. So from now on any of my videos, I am going to make sure that I do this so that way it is not confusing and I do not shift back and forth between day 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 25, and we're all confused about what type of day 1 it is. That's not answering your question, but I just want to let you all know that so that hopefully in the future I can alleviate any confusion. As far as your question about day 1, the first green day, I've always done A plus B equals C. All right. So massive dump day, day 1 of the beginning of the template, right? This is the first day of the template is the dump day. Now we have a first green day, which is a day 1 of the 3-day cycle, but that's because of the failed breakout at the low of the week. So dump day, A plus B, first green day equals C. All right. I know that doesn't really answer your question, but that's just how I've always done it to try and alleviate confusion for myself. Now, if we're talking about 3-day cycle, yes, this is day 1 of the 3-day cycle, which just also happened to be first green day. And then day 2 of the 3-day cycle, trend trade through the high. Hopefully that kind of answers what you're asking. And if I've caused more confusion, please tell me and I'll try to fix it. I don't want you to be confused. Let's see. Yeah, that's why I put the dot, because every time someone puts a question, they put that silly heart there, and I can't see what you all are saying. Oil is coiling. Okay. Hey, so let's get my I'm gonna get my charts up here, set up appropriately so I can get my views in there. All right, we got gold. We're gonna put NASDAQ up here. I like the NASDAQ top left. Makes me happy. Come on, computer. You can do it. All right. We got NASDAQ top left, US 30. I really like this creeping trend. I'm going to watch US 30. Oil, definitely need oil up there. And then I think I'm going to watch gold. And if I need to flip back and forth between gold and, what is it, the euro that I said? No, it was pound that I thought was set up a little bit better for low-hanging fruit. But yeah, risk to reward wise, not a lot of risk, but also really not a lot of reward. I'm not going to, probably just going to ignore this. I like the currencies. I think they're great. But with my current futures trading ability, I think that I'm far more content. JT shorted oil. It might have been a good move. We will see. I really like only trading oil after 9 o'clock. Again, timing is very important to me, and I miss a lot of trades because I don't just jump in, but also that saves me a lot of times as well from getting trapped and trying to chase things. But it is set up well, I think, for that, for what you all are looking for. So good stuff. All right, I'm gonna get my futures platform set up here. Oh. How's y'all's trading weeks been? Anybody got any good setups that they took this week so far? Let's see. All right, gold. That is the same exact setup on gold again for the third time now. They pinned down through the previous day's low. They pumped it back up 25 to 50 pips. And then went into consolidation. What is up with this? Ask and bid quotes are displayed for August. While June contract is on the chart, our engineers are investigating the problem. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but my futures contract for gold is telling me something. Well, that was a good pump and dump on gold. It was the exact same setup that we saw yesterday on where was it? Was it on NASDAQ? I don't think so. Was it on US 30? Oh, yeah, it was US 30. It's the same exact setup that we just saw on gold just now. Pin down through the low, pump it back up in a down moving market, and then dump. I might need to start doing these streams a bit earlier. Instead of getting here kind of late. Yep, shaky at the close of today. Wednesday turns into an automatic day one. Things these past few weeks, they've been moving either very early or very late. And it's been, I'm not going to say it's unusual, but things have just been, I mean, the patterns are always exactly the same, but things just keep on either pumping or dumping into the sessions. And or like in the first hour, you get the setups form and they explode. And of course, space, you got it. Good stuff. Andrew, day 4 breakouts. Breakouts 1, breakouts 2. Or excuse me. Breakouts 1 was back here on Wednesday. Breakouts 2, 3, and now we're into 4. Yeah, exactly, Sean. Like, I mean, we've been talking about the setups in the morning. I lay out everything up here, and it's always set up perfectly. It's not always set up perfectly, but you know what I mean. Especially this past yesterday and today, I was like, oh yeah, here's the setup, and then they start going without me first hour, or even in the afternoon sessions, and it's just kind of. As far as me waiting for certain times of the day, it's been a little bit difficult to, because I wait for a certain time of day and I refuse to allow myself to, I'm not going to just start trying to trade first hour, third hour, and kind of do things all over the place. I just won't do that because what I've been doing has been working, just waiting until 9:30, after 9:30, 10 o'clock. That works really well for me, and I don't like getting in the first hour because eventually it's going to go back to normal where they start trapping in the first hour, and then I get caught, and I don't want to do all that. But, there's an argument to be made for, well, if it's set up in the first hour, why don't you just take the first hour trade? And I totally agree with that. But I don't want to really let my mentality get whipsawed back and forth, so I'm just going to maintain. Just going to maintain what I'm doing. And now it becomes a waiting game. It was a good creeper down in the engulfment. 845. Forever took that. It was coiling. There's the engulfment down. 5-minute bar that's closed lower than the previous 2 bars. Basically the breakout as well of the upper consolidation. 3 peaks pattern. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. Very nice. That is a nice pump and dump template, though. With the 3 days of breakouts as well, which, turns it into an actual setup instead of just trying to trade direction. It's quite good. Quite good. MU24, yep. So, we're at the high of the week. We triggered previous week's high. If we were to get a first red day today, that could be good, especially if they close, back on the inside of, if they close back on the inside of Thursday's range. Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday, first red day, Thursday trade, or Wednesday, first red day, Thursday, pause day, Friday trade, we'll see. Also, we have, I think somebody told me yesterday that um, the news is shifted from today to tomorrow, and I actually didn't check myself. I didn't do my own due diligence, so naughty me. But the inventories for oil, I think, were shifted to tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Trades, I really don't know. Um, my so if I ever take trade, when I do take trades in the first hour, because sometimes, I mean, it is set up perfectly in a way that, leading up to 9:30, I'm like, I mean, I have to take that. There are instances where I will take trades before 9:30, and a lot of times when that happens, they'll dump it or pump it into 9:30, and I'll just get out. And then sometimes, honestly, 9:30 will explode in my direction, and I'm just like, oh well, I should have stayed in for the blow off. But in a lot of cases, 9:30 will stop hunt against the people that were already profitable in the trade. So I'd rather just lock it in, wait, see, adjust. Now that's my own personal preference. Of course, you do whatever makes you comfortable, but 9:30 does tend to have a lot of volatility, and I don't want to get pinned into and get put into drawdown for no reason when I could have just locked in the gains and then waited. That's my own personal preference. At 11 tomorrow. Good stuff. Thanks. We also are coming into the end of a month, so we're probably going to see some large moves within the next week or so. That setup's really good too. 3 days of breakouts, three levels of rise at that 300 pip mark, that 300 pip measurement. Now we put in a peak formation above 75. What a beautiful template. Of course, that's only a 25 pip move, which for oil, that's kind of wacky. But of course, there's lots of volume trapped in the upper third, so we'll see. Or could be trapped in the upper third. Don't know. Doesn't come back. Yeah, there's a good chance. And Moody, I'd even be willing for the first bounce. If it sets up appropriately, the first bounce, level 3, day 3, 3 days of breakouts. Like if it gives me a little pop up, I might be willing, but we'll see. One of my biggest rules is do not chase, even if it's not going to come back. They can still stop hunt 25 to 50 pips into you if you try to chase the candles. You just expect that they're going to keep running. Last thing I want to do is get caught in a pullback trying to short down low. And I'm much happier missing a trade and just not taking it than chasing, if that makes sense. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. I'm a well-hydrated human being about this time every day on the stream. It seems like. All right, so I'm gonna go grab me a little sip. I'm gonna come right back. We're gonna see coming into 9:30 what we've got. Third hour. See where we're at in the coming into the third hour. 9:30, third hour. We have no news on the calendar except for the Euro. They said news all day long, whatever, but we don't have any news now. So we're pretty much green light at 9:30, at least for me. I feel like I'm green light at 9:30 to start looking for opportunities. High of day, low of day, pumps, dumps, dumps, pumps. All right. 30 seconds. Be right back. All right. What 4 charts do you have open? Oh, can you all not see? NASDAQ is top left. US 30 is top right. West Texas oil is bottom left. And gold is bottom right. Oh, gosh. My dog's about to start going nuts. Okay, we got a little 1, 2, 3 to the low in this curling pattern. I wonder if we're going to get a higher high on the inside. Trap volume underneath Friday's high, breakout pullback. But also doesn't really make any sense. I'm going to keep watching. No need to speculate as of yet. Euro USD. Oh boy. Oh, nice. Very good. How's the pound doing? Pound was a good low-hanging fruit as well. Very nice. What is natural gas? Natural gas gapped like an insane amount. An unusual amount. Not that that's a trading opportunity. I'm just having noticed it was kind of interesting. Let's see. Oh, very well. Oh, yep, just saw that. Very well, JT. Yeah. Probably should open my eyes, right? Yeah, I was just flipping through this morning. I was looking at soybean as well. Soybean futures. There's a decent little pump and dump template on soybean. Monday opening range. Tuesday or Thursday of last week was the first red day. Pumped it back up into the high, peak formation high on Monday. Mic volume is very low. Is everybody else able to hear me okay? Or is it me? All right. Hey, Moody, it might be, you might need to turn up your volume or something. You're actually a little loud. It's so funny because, from the time I started YouTube, I got told, you're too fast, you're too slow, your mic's too loud, and your mic is too quiet. I've got told those 4 things, and I was just like, well, that is the indication to me to just keep doing whatever I think is right, because I don't know. I can't. It's always, that made me chuckle, though. I do think that looking at the NASDAQ, we might be getting, whether or not it's going to set up the rest of the way for me to actually take a trade on it today. I really have no idea, but just thinking about what could happen. If today turns into day one breakouts to the downside, this template could be setting up well for, a Thursday, Friday trade. We'll see. GJ. Yeah, that's not one I usually have up on my, but we could take a look at the template because a market is a market. Where are we at? Let's see. There we go. Yeah, first day. Zoom out here a bit. Oh, that's why I'm having such a hard time on the 5-minute chart. Probably should. There we go. Okay, so we've been in a very strong. How many weeks of breakouts? 1, 2. So we're in that 3rd week of breakouts. Monday breakouts, Tuesday breakouts. I'm not saying anything. I'm just going to say that if it was me trading this, I would say wait for a first red day. And also, these wicks on this pair, this is the exact reason I don't like trading this pair, is because every single time I go to GJ, this is what it feels like it looks like. It's just getting wicked every which way. And I always found it really annoying to trade this pair. And I couldn't tell you why, but again, my own personal preference. Of course, now I trade futures, so my options are a little bit more limited. Okay, oil 15-minute chart ran down. We got about 150 in here right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you could just do me a huge favor, really does help the stream, and I would love to have as many people as we can in here. This style of trading, I'm not saying that there is any style of trading that is better than the other, but I do believe that this is by far the most effective way of thinking and trading. In my opinion, slightly biased just because. But if you all like the stream, it does help hopefully gather some newer traders, and they can find a good style of trading right from the get-go instead of having to dilly-dally and fail. I do appreciate it. Alexander, hello to you. Dow bouncing, yeah. Yeah, we got a little 1, 2, 3 engulfing on the 5-minute. That's fine. Feels like things are running away. That might not be a bad move. What is... Yep. Nice. There's a pullback right in the beginning of the session. Boom, boom, boom. Little channel engulfment. In fact, I was looking at this chart this morning, and I was like, oh, I've definitely seen this before. Let me go back to my notes. Let me show you all this. Take a look at US dollar CAD, and then let's take a look at this chart. Chai, I'll answer that here in a second. Yep, there it is. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, right? Monday breaks out, Tuesday fails, first green day. Look at the pattern from today on US dollar CAD. Breakout pullback. I think there was news this day, so it kind of affected the pattern a little bit. But if you look at this, breakout pullback, trend trade back up through the high. I was looking at this and I was like, man, I've seen this before. Because it's the same stuff. It just shows up over and over. But breakout on a Monday, Tuesday failing, first green day. Breakout pullback, Wednesday, trend trade. Breakout on Monday. Tuesday fails, first green day. Breakout, London, pullback. And now we have the vertical, hopefully vertical continuation on the CAD. Pretty cool. Now, of course, the candles are not always going to look the same, and that's what I kind of preach about is just because the candles don't look the same, think about it in terms of breakout, pullback, continue, breakout, fail, reverse, trading range, those types of things that, 3 things markets do. If you think about it more in those terms, this template is exactly the same. Anyways. Order flow footprints. No, I don't need. I'm not going to say that would overcomplicate it for me, but you know, if you're doing something that's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Um, I feel like I've got all the tools that I need. I don't really need any more. I don't need or want any more tools. I'm already as simplistic as I can as far as like putting things up on the screen because it just freaks me out the more stuff I have up there. Brit Phil, I think I just showed you. Did you see what I just put up there? That template. Let's see here. Chai. Hey, so if you go up here to, nope, wrong one. I just learned how to do this the other day. Oh, yeah. So go up here, click the little watch list button, and you can click the stars to favorite. And then that will put them up here. Okay, we trigger previous day's low. Is that the first time we've done that in a while? Hey, Gaza, that's kind of what I'm looking at as well. The way that it's consolidated and then curled, and then we might be getting a higher high on the inside, and they're coiling on top of the EMA. We're at the low of the day. We've traded back down towards or into the low of the week. That's why I've got Friday's high up here projected as well. I certainly don't want to guess, though. Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of sit patiently and wait. But to answer your question, the way that it's consolidated, they ran the low and then pulled back on the inside. That's kind of what I was thinking, too. This looks like a coiled rectangle at the low. Hey, Vivid Minds, it's the pips to profit indicator. It's free. I got it linked on my Discord in the indicators section. You just go down here and check your little boxes. What chart do you use for? Oh gosh, it did the thing again. I don't typically trade Bitcoin, but I can trade Bitcoin futures if I ever wanted to. Muhammad, I think you might be a little bit far back in the stream. I can't tell. Okay, we're about to come in at 9:30. Let's take a look. Honestly, NASDAQ looks like a strong parabolic move to the downside, but I have no idea. And I don't really just want to necessarily guess. But this does look like a good pump and dump template. I'm going to wait till after 9:30, but I think that this is probably going to blow off. Maybe. Who knows? Hey, Vivid, go to, make sure you're using the forex.com chart. The tick values will line up properly. Appreciate that, Max. See, I really do not care for, and I understand that some people do. You know, they trade it like this, and it's fine. Whenever I'm gonna skip these ads for you all. Hold on. And I said this yesterday too, but whenever we start getting templates where they're these parabolic channels, they're dragging people lower and lower. Those are still really great trades. I just do not feel comfortable taking those when they're dragging lower and coiling and dropping and dropping, coiling and dropping, because I always feel like I'm going to get caught in a short squeeze. And I understand that the template's not telling me that I'm going to get caught in a short squeeze, and I got that. But it just takes one time to be wrong about the template, and I get caught in a short squeeze. I'd rather wait for my particular setup where, you know, if we start getting days of breakout, for example, the NASDAQ, right? We get a first red day today. We start getting days of breakouts to the downside, and then they pump it up 3 levels on the next day, and they're pumping into the high at 9:30. Those are the types of templates that I really prefer. Okay, 9:30 just opened. NASDAQ opened on a huge engulfment to the upside on the 1-minute chart. There's that 3 push pattern down into the low. All right, we're not doing this. Where are you? How do I do? Yeah, we're just gonna put you in timeout. There we go. We're not dealing with that crap. Not in here. I already saw some weird comments. We're not dealing with that. Okay, oil looks like a it might have been a low-hanging fruit. Okay, we're 3 minutes after the New York Open. Holy cow, US 30. Creeping trend blowing off in the direction. Yeah, I just saw it 24. Yeah, Jamie, this is a, I mean, I haven't seen the Dow Jones collapse like this in a while. I'm definitely not going to try and pick that bottom. Yeah, I think oil was a good low-hanging fruit. That's the coil on the inside before the vertical move. Not too bad. Seven minutes into this 15-minute bar. We just took out that 4-hour low and reversed. Where are we at within the week? Monday? Oh, we're at the low of the week. That's good. So I just put a peak formation in. Yeah, GS. I'm watching the NASDAQ. They just put in a peak formation low. They engulfed up to the upside. They took out a 4-hour low and reversed. And the 4-hour high is up here, but I'm not really necessarily looking to go long either, so we'll see. Again, I'm just going to be very patient and wait. Where's DJ? Please make sure. Yeah. I think oil was probably the, as far as setups go, probably the best risk to reward. Even the low hanging fruit, back down through the low. Just because it was a day 3 breakouts. Oh boy, there goes oil. Yeah, shaky. That's a big reason why I don't look at anything else except for the charts that I'm trading, because that's the exact same feelings that I get. It's like, how on earth is it doing this when this is doing that? It's like, no. Yeah, the NASDAQ just isn't a. JT, good stuff. How'd you do? Yeah, I am not about to try and guess the direction. Oil was good just because it was a day three breakouts, lower low, pullback, EMA coil, engulfment. 930 was the engulfment. Again, it's just 930. Yeah. I'll wait for the new hour. Let's wait for the new hour and see what happens. See how these consolidations continue to build. Yeah, I'm watching the NASDAQ. I kind of would have rather been in on that first engulfment on at 9:30 or whatever. And then the coil sideways. This first bounce was right here, 945. Um, really just want to find the easy money. And if it's not obvious, I'm not going to take it. I feel like oil was pretty obvious, but it just didn't present the way that I typically would enjoy taking it. Again, I really like getting in towards the top. It just makes me feel a lot more comfortable. Gives me a warm and fuzzy. I don't have any warm and fuzzies right now. I'm taking a look at my other screen, but see, we triggered the low, we pulled back inside, we're coiled on top of the EMA. Are we at the low of the week? Yeah. We're kind of close to the low of the week. That's not at the low of the week. Gold is just in this big, what is that, a 75 pip box with a breakout that failed at the bottom of the box. Oh gosh, what is oil doing? Okay, new 4-hour candle on gold. Yeah, blue, I'm in the same boat. I haven't really been taking a lot of trades at all. I've just been waiting very patiently for something that jumps out at me and says, "Hey, you goober, take this one," you know. And that's fine with me. I have no problems or no feelings about not taking a trade for a few days or a whole week or whatever. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? Eventually, the market's going to set up so perfectly that I just can't not take the trade. But anything less than that, I don't really want to be a participant. Is really not willing to play their games. The only games I like playing are Monopoly and Sorry, or you know, but when the market's not set up right and it's playing its own game, I don't. I'm good. What the heck? Good stuff, Kent. Don't ever let somebody make you feel bad for not taking a trade. Who cares? You can sit an entire session and not take one. You could sit 3 days without taking one. Who cares? Just constantly remind yourself, are you trading for long-term longevity? Are you trading for your future? Or are you trading for the satisfaction of pressing that button and see it go positive on P&L? Because it's going to hurt a lot more when you see it go negative on P&L. Tell you that. Tell you that right now. We're not trading on hopes and dreams. We're trading on what is the chart telling us that it's willing to do, and is that a setup that we'd like to take? That's it. Anything less than that is gambling. Anything less is gambling. I'm still watching NASDAQ, by the way. The 1 minute chart looks spicy, but the 1, 2, 3 back down. What was this? Opening range low? Okay, so we broke out, pulled back. We're on top of the opening range low now. What are we doing? Yeah, they just broke out of that 4-hour high. They broke out low, shaky 4-hour low, and then they've just spiked into the high, 4-hour high. We're in a 50 pip box. Blue, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now, too. Started getting that feeling like, oh, I missed it. I missed blah, 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 blah. You didn't miss anything. And you know what? If you miss a trade, that is a good indication for you. Number one, from personal experience, I'm telling you, when you get that feeling like, oh, I've missed it, either one, you need to wait for it to set back up for some kind of continuation or reversal, trade setup, opportunity. But that feeling of, oh, I've missed it is an extremely horrible thing. All right. You really got to be self-aware of that whenever you get that feeling, because that'll force you to feel like you need to take a less quality trade. You missed the first one. You're like, oh, there it is. There it goes. I saw it. I identified it. It's gone without me. And then you take some garbage trade. And at the end of the day, you get that not crap feeling in your stomach. Like, why did I do that? It was so dumb. Been there, done that. No thanks. I'm good. So those are those behaviors that, you start to get your account going really well in a good direction. And then you just have one day like that. And next thing you know, you're, doing something crazy, doing something weird. Guessing direction. Hopes and dreams. It looks like it's going to continue. it looks like it's going to do X, Y, and Z. How to get trapped in the market 101 is it looks like it's going to do this. Yeah, because they make the chart look like it's going to do that. And then they just run it the other way. That's the whole basis. That's the market's entire business plan, if you will, is, wow, it looks like it'll continue. That's the biggest candle on the entire chart, and that's the one that reversed. Good Lord. Is the U.S. economy collapsing or something? What's going on? Cool. Gwen, I think you might have the right idea. I'm not saying that you're right. I'm not saying that you're. This is not a trade recommendation by any means. A reminder: I'm not a financial advisor at all. Everything we're doing here is for education and entertainment purposes only. But depending on how the next couple of 5-minute bars close, they've done a little 1, 2, 3 back down. That 5-minute bar just closed above that previous bar's high. 1, 2, 3 to the low, engulfment to the upside. We're at the low of the week. We're down low at least. No, we are at the low of the week. They just put in this could be a larger consolidation, peak formation low, higher high on the inside, pull back to Monday's low. My only problem with the NASDAQ is that if this week turns into an inside week, which, certainly could, it could set us up really well for next week. So I'm trying not to guess direction so much on the NASDAQ right now because of that. I really think that I'd almost be willing just to wait until they break one of those levels. I think that would make me feel much better. And maybe we get like a first red week. Next week turns into a breakout to the downside or even to the upside, whatever. Restarting the cycle or the beginning of a new month. Like this exact same template. Where was think it was gold a few weeks back. Like, seen it before, been there, done that, seen it. Let's take a look at gold real quick. Maybe it was more than a few weeks. Yeah, it was this week right here. It's a huge blow off top. This was a great trade that day, and then this turned into an inside week. And you can see how it's just been, just chopping people back and forth all week long. And then you get the blow off basically on this day here, which this is an inside week. They triggered the low of the inside week, and that sparked and this is the beginning of a new month as well. Like, anyways. Man, my computer is not liking me today. This is the end of the new month. Quinn is it's basically like the signal for, look for the extremes, look at the pattern that has formed in the past week, because the next week or the next couple of weeks could set up for very large moves, or right at the beginning of a new month could set up for a very large move. Really got to pay attention to where volume is caught, trapped. Really focus on the highs and the lows of the week, 3 levels of rise and fall, because those usually at the beginning of a month, you can find a trade that you can take and not have to take another trade for the rest of the month. Because that's where they get you, right? You get one really great trade at the beginning or end of a month, and then you get chopped up for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Your account goes back down to break even or maybe worse. You get another great trade. I mean, see how it works? Like if you're not trading setups and you're just focused on direction, your results are going to be very, kind of back and forth. Whereas if you just understand those timing cycles, take one really great trade in the week or one really great trade in the month, and then don't get chopped up the rest of the month, and then do it again the next month or the next week. Don't let them fool you with all these vibrant price movements. $10.19, getting a little bit late in the session. What is gold doing? Where did that new hour open? Opened right there. Oh, gold's. Good stuff, Jay. Gwen, did you hold on? Yeah, gold is quite coiled, isn't it? Space. See you tomorrow. I'll be here again doing the same thing. I'm gonna give it another probably maybe 10 minutes. But I'm really not comfortable with anything I'm seeing, so. Quinn, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, they are chopping people up inside. No, I haven't taken anything today. I think oil low hanging fruit was probably the best out of the four that I had chosen. I think the pound first red day was pretty good as well. But as far as trades that I feel comfortable taking, like this is a setup, but um, just not one that I'm usually jumping into. So that is okay with me. Just gonna let those go. All right, 10:30, ladies and gentlemen. This is usually about the time that I'm gonna call it quits because at this point I'm either gonna be chasing something, I'm going to be getting in a place that I'm not comfortable, not trading setups but trading movement, all those types of things that I definitely would like to avoid. Reasons for me not taking trades today, and I've kind of talked about this before, but this oil 3 days of breakouts broke back down on the inside, broke down, pumped up. This was a good low hanging fruit based off of actual trading setups. I don't really care for taking low hanging fruits. I prefer getting in, on those we'll call them 5-star opportunities, where they're pumping up into day 3 breakouts and then it rolls over at the high of day. Like, those are my kinds of trades that I really prefer to take. Same thing with like NASDAQ. Really would have liked to have seen, kind of a breakout and a pullback for pump and a dump. Let's see, US 30. It's pretty much the exact same setup again as we saw in the past, but where are we at? This right here. Yep. They pinned down through the low and pumped it back up and engulfed. So US 30, again, same exact setup that we've been seeing last week and this week. Pump for a dump. But again, when these creeping trends happen, I do not like getting in on these, because it just makes you feel like you're getting in on a short squeeze. I'm trying to short this and I'm down low. They could put one candle back up against me and really get punched in the face. And I really don't want to do that. I really prefer broken down markets that are pumping back up, 3 levels of rise, things like that. So whenever those setups show up, I'm going to keep doing these streams, and I'll be more than happy to take those trades here on stream with you all. But I think for now, I'm just going to wait it out, wait for timings. Again, same thing with oil, right? Like the pump at 9:30 wasn't there, and it was more broken down, which is still a great trade, just not something that I'm particularly fond of taking. So the rest of this week, next week, we got plenty of time to take trades. I'm just going to wait and be patient for my setup. So you have a great rest of your day. I'll be here same time tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, ready to go. I'll see you all tomorrow.